This Week in Gaming! Welcome in, everybody. It's October 12th, 2025. It is another fantastic Sunday. I hope everybody has had a great day, and I'm going to ruin it with some bad gaming news. Just kidding. No, we've had some good stuff happen this week. Finally, a good week in gaming news. I've been told it's the best gaming news. It's the best gaming news. I've been told it's the greatest even. It even deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. That's the best I can do. I heard it from multiple people. Yeah, I heard it from multiple people. They're all saying it. We had Star Citizen Direct this week. Did we? I did not see that. It's not in the gaming news. So unfortunately, I was not aware of that. Just remember, you said I can exchange these points 1 to 2. I never said that. I never said that. Bro, one job. Alright, let's go into our wins and fails for this week. Let me turn down the music a little bit. It's a little bit annoying. Wins and fails, we have Cringe Critic, Linear Launch, Destined Death, Mega Money, and Generated Games. We had some Clinker talk in here. You guys are going to love that. Let's go into our first fail for the week. We got IGN gives Battlefield a 5 out of 10. Gamers are outraged at IGN's incredibly low score for the newest installment of Battlefield. Their review appears to weigh the quality of the campaign heavily, while fans criticize the criticism, stating that the multiplayer is the most important part of the game. Which is true. I mean, when you play Battlefield, you're not playing it for the story. Let's be honest. People are. It's like an adult video in that sense. People also quickly pointed out the inconsistencies with much other worse games getting much higher scores. So here we have their review right here, a little bite-sized review. It is the single-player review, so that's important to know. But it's kind of silly that they specifically rated it based on the single-player. They said, it's a staggering spectacle to behold at times and a treat for the ears at others. But when it comes to the mission design and an engaging plot, it fails to deliver at all. We're talking about a game where you fight like a shadow organization. This is probably like on par with like Modern Warfare 2. It's probably cheesy and campy as hell. I'm sure it serves its purpose. You know what I mean? I play it for the plot. Oh, okay. We got one in the chat, I guess. Just a small loan of $1 million. Yes, please. They'll do anything to say good games are bad. And anything to say that bad games are good. Because check out this next page right here. Here are some other examples of reviews they've given in the past couple years. You got Dragon Age the Veilguard, a very famously poorly performing game. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't awful. But they gave it a 9. They were like, this shit is slapping. This is like the best game we've ever played, just about. 9 out of 10. Enjoyable action combat, a fantastic cast of allies, and sweeping story arcs, all their own. Top-notch cinematics and moving, nuanced characters writing, are the wings on which this triumphant dragon soars. If we never get another Dragon Age, at least it got to go out on a high note. I like how they include, like, if we never get another Dragon Age, because they know it's bad and it's not doing well. That's crazy. Dragon Age is not a 9. Like, the Veilguard is absolutely not a 9. I would say it's maybe a 7. But you know what is definitely not a 7? Concord! Concord is like a 2! Concord's a 2 and they gave it a 7! Concord isn't the most innovative or content-heavy hero shooter you could play, but with such fantastic competitive gameplay, 16 compelling characters. You think I would be hard-pressed to find one compelling character, mind you, to master. And 12 well-designed maps. It's got the makings of something that could go the distance in the months and years to come. That aged like milk. Honestly, it aged worse than milk, because this game literally lasted less time than a carton of milk does in your fridge. This game was shut down in less than 2 weeks. It cost them like $400 million to make. Concord. Concord did not even get a month of life. Exactly. Exactly. So, just to put this into perspective, the same people that gave Battlefield a 6 a 5 gave Dragon Age the Veilguard a 9 and Concord a 7. So, Yeah, that's our first fail of the week. Just classic IGN fail. Let's move on to our win, though. Battlefield 6's launch. No surprise here, but Battlefield 6 is actually doing, despite what IGN says, very, very well. Already making $100 million. The game launched with nearly 3/4 of a million players on Steam. This is Steam alone, not even console. It made $100 million from PC players on Steam with 750,000 players. Dude, that's a huge launch. That's a huge launch if that's like across everything. And that's just one platform. Gamers have applauded the optimization, fun gameplay, and open communication from the team. And what I mean by that is there was a story about some people not being able to play the game because there was an issue with the app, the EA like app launcher or whatever. And I guess they quickly like called attention to it, and they gave like refunds or something to certain players. Or like refunded them for the time that they lost. I don't really know the story too well, but people are really happy with the way that they handled that. And it just seems like it's just been an awesome launch for them. Like it's been doing so well. Not as good as Portal 2. Probably not as good as Portal 2, no. I never heard of Concord before it crashed. Me neither. That's the funniest part, is most people never heard about Concord. And Sony literally thought it was going to be the next Star Wars. Lost Ark launched with 2 million players on Steam, if I remembered right. Not 50% bots cope. 2 million players is insane. From what I saw, it was as character design. Yeah, so Concord had some of the worst character design. It was really bad. It was like laughably bad. So that's why it's especially funny that IGN was like 16 compelling characters. It's like name one. Name one. So yeah, no, Battlefield 6 is doing phenomenal so far. Like they're really raking it in. I mean, this game is doing as well as like a Marvel movie does. You know, like where you get like $1 billion at the box office. Like this is probably gonna make $1 billion or $2 billion in like the first month or so. Like I wouldn't be surprised. That being said, I still haven't bought it because I don't want to spend $70 on a game. I want to wait until like Black Friday and see if it goes on sale for like, you know, $50 maybe or something. That would be cool. I'd probably pick it up for that. But I don't really want to spend $70 on a game, especially because I don't have a lot of time to like actually play games anymore. I'm either making games myself or I'm practicing like, you know, playing my instrument that I'm interested in, or like other hobbies. I'll play on free weekends. Yeah. Concord is like wet cheese on an apple. It's like wet cheese on an apple. You know, I have to say that is literally the first time I've ever heard that before. I've never heard that analogy, so you are the first. Lost Ark launched with 2 million. I already read that. I have the memory of a goldfish. Anyways, that's our win with Battlefield. I think that's all we have for Battlefield. I think we're going on to a fail now. Yep, Destiny 2 is dead. On the other end of the spectrum, dust bunnies are gathering over at Bungie's empty office because everyone's basically been fired. They have 2 people working on Destiny 2. That's why they call it Destiny 2. And it has hit its lowest player count of all time, mimicking the general sentiment of the state of the game. The studio is currently in a weird place trying to fix Marathon ahead of its botched launch schedule and may not have the time to care for their true cash cow. So, as you can see here, they're currently at 20,000. It might even be lower than it was before. Destiny 2 player count. Let me check. Let me just see if it's higher or lower. Okay, they're currently... Oh, no, it is lower. They're currently at 16,000 players. Currently. That's really... So it's even lower. It's literally... It's hitting a new low every day. It's currently at its lowest it's ever been on Steam for its entire history. Its peak was 2.7 years ago with 316,000 players. It is currently at 16,000. In fact, this is so low that this is, they pointed out, I think it was Curse of Osiris. During the Curse of Osiris campaign, the player count was around this level, and they were apparently weeks away from shutting down the entire series. And they were able to make a comeback, but they might not come back from this one. This might actually be the death of Destiny. And over here, you'll also see their recent reviews on Steam are mostly negative. It's not just that people aren't playing it anymore because like they're into something else. Like they're actively not enjoying the state of the game anymore. They have harsh criticisms against what used to be a very very loved franchise. So I don't know where they go from here. This actually might be the end of Destiny. What about TF2? What about TF2? TF2 is going to outlive us all. It doesn't matter if there's 1,000 people playing, 1,000,000 people playing, or one person playing. I don't think that TF2 is going anywhere. Oh 07. I'm still pissed about Marathon. It was supposed to release a month ago. I know. And then, dude, the entire studio's a mess right now. Their like CEO quit. Sony's taking full control over them. They've pushed out their Marathon release indefinitely, I think. I don't know if there's a new release date. It's just like I can't imagine a studio that's more on fire right now. Who took a worse reputation hit over the last few years, Bungie or Blizzard? I would say Bungie. I think Blizzard still has like a lot of goodwill with WoW. I think there are still a lot of people that like WoW. WoW for sure had a really bad spike in negative sentiment, but they've rebuilt that trust. And WoW is actually climbing back. I think WoW is the number one MMO again. For a while, I think they lost the top spot to Final Fantasy. But Final Fantasy is like number 8 now. I think WoW is back on the come up. What about Subnautica 2? Subnautica 2 is also in a weird place. The original creators are still suing for control of Subnautica 2. Quit, sure, more like pushed. Yeah, he was pushed for sure. The CEO of Bungie was definitely pushed out of a window. I mean, Blizzard had pirate software, so it closed. That's true. Overwatch has gotten a lot better lately too. I have seen a lot of stuff about Blizzard or Overwatch, but I can't imagine that there are a lot of people playing that right now. Especially with like Marvel Rivals. I feel like Marvel Rivals was a really huge hit to what they have. Are you saying what the F to the bot? Yeah, I mean, it's fun to play at times, but I'm still mad about Overwatch 2 and there's no esports in Overwatch. Yeah, dude, oh my gosh. The Overwatch esports teams have just died. Like, that ended so quickly. I heard they took notes from that Ocean Gates Titan sub. Yeah, how to have a success. Anyways, yeah, that's the state of Destiny 2. Not looking good. We'll see what happens. They're in such a weird spot because not only do they have Destiny 2 to worry about now, which is where they're getting all their income, but they also have Marathon. They have Marathon to worry about, so they're kind of in a really bad position because Marathon's not doing well and Destiny's not doing well. Like, you need one of these two things to go well for your company to like survive. If they both fail, if they both flop, Bungie's over. Like, it's donezo. So I guess we'll see. Moving on, we have a win. This is a huge win about Megabonk. Have you guys heard of this game? Megabonk is a mega success. Indie studio Verdinad's debut game has captured incredible success with this new fun project. Sitting at 94% positive ratings, like literally, I think it's 1% away from being overwhelmingly positive. This game has already sold 1.3 million copies and currently has a player count of over 100,000 users. It's not Danny. Danny. I know there's been some conspiracy theories that Danny made this, but I don't think he did. But yeah, I've heard this game is a lot of fun. I heard it might be Danny Deb. I have 18 hours? All right, well, let's take a look at the trailer because I honestly, I've been hearing a lot about this and I kind of want to play it. It looks like a lot of fun. I love the art style and the physics looks so cool. And you can sword surf? Dude. I like the design a lot. He's doing like kickflips and shit.
Oh my god, dude.
There's so many different classes. Now with 10% more bonk. Sword Surf, play it, but it's addictive AF. Yeah, I should really check this out. It looks fantastic, honestly. Like, this is exactly what you want as an indie game. This is an amazing success story, and I love to see stuff like this. Like, I hope we see more games like this in the future. And like, this is something that I think anybody could make. You know what I mean? Like, I think Kieran could have made this game. I think Mo could have made this game. I could have made this game. Stefan certainly could have made this game. I don't know. It's also so creative. It looks like a really good time. Like, I think that's a thing that a lot of developers forget to do when they're making games. Just make it fun. You know what I mean? So this is really cool, and I love seeing this. And yeah, I mean, I think this is a good formula for like making good indie games. You know, it doesn't, like, obviously this isn't super graphically impressive, but it doesn't need to be, because it looks fun as heck, and there's so much to do from the looks of it. So I like it. I was really inspired to see this. The Mizu Jam was based on this. No, it wasn't. Was it really? That's so cool if that's true. It's not Danny. Milk. All right. Going on to our next fail, we have AI video games. Oh, your game you made for it was. So Elon Musk says XAI will be generating full video games by the end of 2026. This has had mixed reactions, to say the least. People seem to care about the art form of making good games, but others are excited about the potential endless slop games. Or just even the profits you can make from just generating slop games. Elon Musk. What is that? Ain't no way. Here's his post right here. He says the XAI game studio will release a great AI generated game before the end of next year. So I don't know what to say about this. Not really excited about this as a game developer. I really do not like the idea of a AI generating an entire game. I'm hoping that the game that I'm making will never be able to be generated, because it's got a custom written story by me. It has compelling characters. It has just things that I would want in a game. It's very customly crafted for that reason. I don't think AI can spit something like that out, and I'm hoping it won't. I guess we'll see. Time will tell. But I don't like this. And down here, he was replying to this post where he says video games will be dynamically generated by Grok in the future. And it's this freaking terrible AI slop of like a guy walking down a street with like tanks and stuff and a gun. Not excited about this. I think this is like one of the worst uses of AI. Like, don't get me wrong. I actually like using AI for certain aspects of game development. I think it's really handy if you're like generating textures. Like if you use image generation to generate like a dirt texture, and you use that to texture your 3D models. I think it's really great for icons. I really like using it for icons and stuff like that. Like I'll take like an image of something in my game and I'll feed it through AI and be like, give me a stylized like picture of this, and it'll give me like an icon. And I think that some people would have an issue with that too, but as someone who has very limited resources, I think for indie games it's really helpful. I also really do like generative like text responses. I have been playing around with that with Infinium, and just having I have one character in the game that is fully like Chat GPT powered, where you can like talk to him and he'll like generate responses. I've been playing around with that. I don't think that's super bad, but I think the idea of like generating a whole game and like having no human interaction or no human creativity involved is just creatively bankrupt. And I'm hoping that people will never enjoy something like that, never consume that kind of media. All my games use 0% AI, and not everyone is going to use AI, but I think that people who use it, it's not like a terrible thing. Like there are uses for it. It ain't gonna happen, and if it does, it'll be Garbo games. I really do think that AI could be really good for like NPCs. Like, I mean, if you had to choose between like an AI that just says, or like an NPC that just says the same thing, like, I sure enjoy fishing, or an AI that will say something different every single time based off of some sort of generative response, I think that's a better choice. Like a lot of Skyrim NPCs, like there's an AI mod for Skyrim, and I thought that was really cool. Like I would love to see an open world like RPG that actually uses a lot of that to like make it more unique and like randomized each time you play it, so it's not just the same canned responses. I don't think that that's a bad use of it, but that's just my personal opinion. Where's the fun in using AI? The fun in AI is definitely like if you have a really good system for a game, like again with the Skyrim example, it's really cool to add a little bit more of that chaos of just like having something random happen. And when you give like the AIs a little bit more freedom to give random responses, it can be a lot funnier. If I can make them say bad things, can I get a cracker? Jank equals fun. Yeah, no, exactly. Like there's a mod for Fallout where you can have a super mutant follow you around, and they have fully AI generated responses, and the person playing the game was like making it marry them and stuff like that, and I thought that was funny. Like you can have like fun side plots. It's really fun for content creators as well because they can kind of run with it and like do silly things. So I don't know. Like I'm not fully against it, but I am against like too much of it. I think there's a threshold of an amount of AI that's acceptable, and I think once you get over that threshold, it becomes a problem. Yeah, let's just say Elon makes it sound like Elder 6 can be fully AI generated. In reality, it'll look like a prick blaster Flappy Bird. Yeah, I don't imagine it'll like even if we can do that. I'm hoping that it'll always remain soulless. And you know what? I think that ironically, the level of high quality art that we consume is going to be much lower quality. It's going to be like the books that people buy now are going to be like written by simpletons because it's going to be so badly, so poorly written that AI couldn't copy it. You know, I think people are going to start seeking out things when we start living in a world that's more saturated with AI creations and art. We're going to be consuming things that we can recognize as being human, and that'll cause us to be more interested in like bad art. You know what I mean? Like when you see Chris Chan's artwork, you're like, that's so poorly made. Like obviously a human made that. Like probably like someone with a 6th grade education. And I think that that'll be the future. Forget Angry Birds, we're getting normal birds. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Let's talk about the future of Xbox. Rumors have circled this week on whether or not there will be a next-gen Xbox since the console is at its lowest point of reputation. However, leaks indicate that there are plans for new hardware using AMD chips dubbed Magnus APU. A potentially more powerful machine similar to a PC that costs around $800 to $1,000 is what may be planned for next gen. And it's also going to be larger. So I'm not sure how to feel about this. I feel like at what point does someone just buy a PC? But even at $800 to $1,000, that's still a pretty good price compared to a PC. Like back in the day, you used to be able to build. Oh man, I'm gonna sound so old when I say this. I know you guys are gonna call me Unk, but back in the day, you could buy a gaming PC that was decent. Like you could play GTA 5 on this bad boy for $600, right? Like a 1050 Ti, like a AMD FX 8350. 16 gigabytes of RAM, maybe. Like. That's what, because I'm saying this out of, oh no, it was a 750 Ti. That was my first build, and I could play GTA 5 on it at like 720p 30 FPS. It was actually pretty cool. I enjoyed it, and you know what? You can't do that anymore. Your average PC is probably about $1,600 now. I know. UNC, I think you meant UNSC. From Halo. Anyways, yeah, from to Gateway Store. Shut up. What do you? So if you guys don't know, I literally had to spell it out because Gateway didn't show it up. This is what he's talking about. He's making fun of me saying that I bought one of these, a Gateway computer. That's so rude. It's so mean. I'm back. Welcome back. Discord. My wife just died. Oh, your Wi-Fi! Oh my gosh. I actually thought you said wife. I was like, what? Oh my gosh. Why'd you say Discord? I'm not showing that on stream. You made a joke about porn. I'm not showing that on stream. Anyways, let's move on to the next story. The canceled Assassin's Creed game. Did you guys hear about this one? A rumor reports that Ubisoft employees confirmed the cancellation of an Assassin's Creed game that would take place after the American Civil War from the perspective of a former slave that now fights against the KKK. However, it was canceled due to the Yasuke backlash. That was a crazy Freudian slip. I almost said blacklash. The Yasuke backlash in Assassin's Creed Shadows. This shows a lack of understanding from the Ubisoft leadership. They fail to realize that dude, I can't stop doing it now. The backlash is due to the overriding one culture with another for the sake of modernization. A Civil War freedom fighter game would likely not garner the same backlash. What the fuck? Those ran RuneScape. They sure did. So yeah, no, there was a huge backlash when they added Yasuke as a main character in a Japanese like environment, mainly because a lot of people were saying that Yasuke was never a samurai and they were building him up as this main samurai guy, and people were saying that they're overwriting history and kind of like modernizing it for an American audience, which is what they were doing, like to be fair. And it was a bit disrespectful to like Japanese culture. And I see why people were not happy with that choice. However, there were former slaves that fought against the KKK. Like that, I don't think that's the same kind of like, I don't think you would get that kind of backlash. Like that would be kind of dope. I think a lot of people agree that it was dumb of them to cancel this game because that could have been a cool idea. And it would not have garnered the same kind of backlash. It really wouldn't. Even my bot said, "Yike, that's a spicy take. Hope everything's cool on your end, chatters." What are you talking about? Why is the bot turning against me? My wife just died. Imagine you could play as John Brown. Who is John Brown? Do I need to touch up my history? Who's John Brown? An abolitionist. John Brown was an American abolitionist in the decades preceding the Civil War, first reaching national prominence. I feel like I remember this guy from history class. But yeah, no, I think that would have been really cool. I don't see, that's the thing is like, if you ever seen like Django Unchained, like that movie, people liked it because they like watching the evil racist people die. Like that was cool. Like, and people liked Inglourious Bastards because they liked watching the evil Nazis die. Like it, like the KKK is someone that no one's going to defend or get offended by watching get killed in a video game. Like that was actually probably a slam dunk, and it's dumb of them to have not gone through with it. Oh my gosh, Discord again. Imagine. Okay, all right. What did you post this time? He just wants me to show his memes on stream. Me licking the knife when I'm done with it. Other people in the operating room. Congratulations. Why are you interrupting my presentation with this? Anyways, I think that this was just an L on Ubisoft's part. They're really misreading why people had a problem with the backlash in the first place. And yeah, I think this just goes to show why there was a backlash to begin with. And they just don't get it. It's not because people aren't upset because there is an African American character. They're upset because of how you're using them, right? Like when you put them in a place that doesn't make as much sense, or you're building them up in a historical context that didn't exist, people are going to have an issue with that, especially when you go and make a big show about how historically accurate your game is. But if you were to do the same thing in a real historical setting where this thing did happen, no one's going to have an issue with that because it is historically accurate. It's so dumb. It's so annoying. Anyways, let's move on. I don't have anything else to say about this. Yapper, I know. Let's stop yapping. Why Helldivers 2 is 1,000,000 gigabytes. Let's talk about this. Deputy Technical Director Brendan Armstrong explained in a Reddit post why HD2 has an absurd file size for PC players. Apparently, this issue is not existent on consoles. The issue comes down to HDD users, which stands for hard disk drives for my non-PC enjoyers. Apparently, they use a duplication solution where they can duplicate the data 3 times so that it can load better for hard drive users. Why not offer an opt-in version for hard drive users? Who knows? But this currently makes it currently makes the size of Helldivers 150 gigabytes. I know I said a million, but that was not far off. 150 is insane. So in this really long, this is like half of the post I have like up here. They explain why they did it. So the installation size is around 150 gigabytes. Why? Data duplication. Much of the data in the PC version is duplicated. A practice of duplicating data to reduce loading times is a game development technique that's used to optimize particularly for HDDs. And to solve this problem, we deliberately duplicate certain data, like textures and sound effects, and place copies of them physically close proximity where they would be needed in the game. I honestly, and I might be kind of a jerk for saying this, like if you don't have an SSD, you shouldn't be expecting to play modern games anymore. Like in 2025, if a game comes out and it's making big changes like this, like 150 gigabyte download size for everybody because they want it to be playable on mechanical drives, then they just need to just sacrifice those players. Like, I'm sorry, like it's not for you. This is not a game that you have access to anymore. Like, you need to have an SSD for gaming in 2025, and they're not that expensive. You can get an SSD for $50, which is the same amount of money that I spent for a 1 terabyte hard drive in 2016. Like, it's not like even for inflation, it's actually cheaper than hard drives used to cost. The real reason they don't want you to update the dev PCs to SSD. Oh, the real reason is they don't want to update the dev PCs to SSD? Do the dev PCs use hard drives? Blood for the PC master race gods. I mean, it's just like here, let's just take a look at Amazon real quick. Let's see how much an SSD costs. Dude, look at this. $70. I hope I'm not showing too much of my... I don't want to give away my address or something. $70 for 1 terabyte. This is an M.2. This isn't even an SSD. This is probably an NVMe, isn't it? Does it say NVMe? I don't know if it's an SSD or an NVMe. This one's a 250 gigabyte drive for $20. $20! Dude, this game would literally be like 30 gigabytes. Or actually, no, it'd be like 50 gigabytes. Helldivers would fit on a $20 drive if they would make it smaller. Here's a 500 gigabyte one for $33. Like, it's affordable. It's literally less than the cost of the game to own a drive that can store multiple games on. And a lot of people have pointed out one particular issue with this huge file size. A lot of people actually do own those 250 gigabyte SSDs, but they don't have the space to put 150 gigabytes on it. But if it was a 50 gigabyte game, they would have the space for it. So what's actually happening is they're creating a problem that they're solving, because a lot of people do have small SSDs to play games on. They just can't fit this game on there because they've made it so big. If they were to make it smaller, a lot of people would be able to use their SSDs. So yeah, I'm really shocked at this decision on their behalf, and I think it's just wrong. I just even consoles don't use hard drives anymore. When's the last time a console used a hard drive? Like Xbox 360? Did the Xbox One even use a hard drive? Like, it might have. Xbox One, PS4 might have been the end of that era. But consoles nowadays do not use hard drives. They all use SSDs. I think that the same standard should apply to PCs as well. Like, if you want to play modern games on a PC, you should be expected to use an SSD. I did use a hard drive. The game is like 32 gigs. Blood for the it's better than SSD. Anyways, I that's just my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'm sure that not everybody has an SSD, but like that's fine. Like if you want to stay with a hard drive and you want to play older games, that's okay. That are made for hard drives. But like you really shouldn't expect to play a modern game that works on a console that plays with an SSD. Because SSD technology is like it is like at a point where it is necessary for a lot of games. Because the only other option is you have like crazy solutions like this where you literally triple the download size. It's just unacceptable. It shouldn't be the way that it is. Anyways, let's move on. Birth of Sackbird. Developers that Microsoft laid off that were working on the Bethesda's Blackbird project have banded together to create a new studio called Sackbird Studios. Get it? Because they were working on Blackbird, now they're Sackbird. Anyways, it is employee-owned and funded, allowing them creative control as they figure out what they're going to begin working on. Not a whole lot of news here, but it is really cool to see. I am wishing them the best. So these are the people that were originally working on, like these are like project leads and like creative developers for what was it? Elder Scrolls Online. That's a game that they worked on. I think also Fallout 76. This is that same studio. A lot of them, I guess, got laid off. I didn't know that. I thought they just canceled the project, and I didn't realize they laid anyone off. But these are people that worked at Bethesda, worked on their Project Blackbird MMO, which was apparently very good. But Microsoft had to cut it because they didn't have any more money. And they, I guess, laid some of their employees off. And those employees cheekily went and made a new studio called Sackbird. So I thought that was cool. Very creative and kind of just a sign of the times, really. I mean, you have people in big AAA studios leaving and making their own studios. It's not really anything new, but it's cool to see that. That logo looks AI, I gotta say it. It does look a little bit AI. I can see it. Yeah, it might be. I don't know. I guess it could be. I think it's funny. I think it's literally a black bird with like a little like it's been fired. Gotta go. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good day, Parzival. They are devs, not artists. That's a good point. That's a good point. They're like, I'm here for technology. I'm not looking at Discord anymore. I'm not dissing, just pointing it out. You can see it's only programmers that got fired. Yeah, they're gonna make some great software. But yeah, I think this is cool. I wish them the best. I hope that they find success. And honestly, I think we're gonna see a lot of stories like this in the next decade. We're gonna see like some of the biggest studios pop up that came from all these firings that are happening. You're gonna have massive indie studios that become like, the next EA or the next CD Projekt Red because 50 of their people got fired from NetEase or something. When they were working on Marvel Rivals, or 50 people got fired from Blizzard, and we see it right now with Expedition 33. Those were all fired Ubisoft devs. They were like, "Fuck it, we're gonna go and make a new studio," and they made one of the greatest games of all time. Like this is going to be a very common story in the near future. The bird holding up the sack with a big schlong. I can't unsee it now. Oh, no. Anyways, that's all we have for today. Let's go into our pro tip of the week. Innovate at every step. The smarter you iterate, the faster you'll unravel the maze. Each attempt, even if they fail, reveals insights and narrows the ambiguity. Success emerges in retrospect, by Roger Spitz. I really like that quote. So what I mean by that is during every project, it is important to iterate along the way. By the end, the work you began with should pale in comparison to the work you did towards the end. You can go back and revise if necessary, but there should be clear growth throughout. One way I do this with Infinium is each time I add a new dungeon or a scene, I always try to add a new feature to the game. Maybe something small like a new trap or an enemy type, or it may be something large like a new gameplay feature. I use these spaces to hone my craft and to build what I've already built on. And each time you add a new level or write a new chapter or make a new song, you should always try to do something unique that you haven't tried before. Are you calling me a yapper? Is that what the September thing is used for? But also true. Nerd, but true. It is really true. And I think that if you look at it from that perspective, like say you're making like a shooter, right? And you have like, it's like a episodic shooter. Like there's like level 1, level 2, level 3. Like each level you should add a new feature. Just like slowly incorporate new stuff. And I think a game that does this really well is like Doom. The Doom games do this really well. Like it'll start you off with like, you know, the classic shotgun or like a pistol or something, and it adds new weapons every like level or so. It adds like maybe a new item or like a new ability, and it's constantly kind of iterating on it until by the end of the game you have this really different feeling game. And also when you do it like that, not only are you iterating on the formula that you started off with, you're also slowly teaching the player these new mechanics, these new features. So you're not throwing so much at them at once. And I think that's a great way not only to learn and progress as a developer, but to just like create a really good linear path of like fun and like keeping it fresh along the way. But if you add new features every time, it's going to be too much at the end. Not necessarily. Like I said, it could be a small feature, it could be a big feature, but to add something new every time, I think will always benefit you, right? Like something, there should be something new every level. There shouldn't be levels where it's like literally something the player has already done. You should make something up, right? Titanfall 2 campaign feels like that. I haven't really played. I played it a little bit, but I don't. You hate the bot. Let's keep things chill and fun in here. Shut up, Clanker. You guys are so mean to the bot. But yeah, I think that's a great way to do game development. But it's not just game development. Like I said, like even like writing. Like when you're doing like writing a novel or just like writing a short story. Like every single time you do like a new chapter or part, you should change something. You know, maybe change a little bit of your writing style, maybe build towards something. Just writing the same thing or keeping it the same tone doesn't work. You gotta build on it. Or making music. Like every time, like say you're making an album, every song you should try something new. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it's not as good as you want. Maybe you scrap it because it wasn't a very good song. But you should try something new. You shouldn't use the same instrument for every single song. You shouldn't do an album, like an electronic album that has all the same virtual instruments. Like that's going to sound very boring. Imagine having 10k points. Oh, he hit 10,000 points. Let's go, Mo. Holy cow. Don't tell me what to do. All right, I won't tell you what to do. I'm just giving you advice. You don't have to take it. I think it would benefit everybody here though. Not to say that anybody here is like not doing that thing, but I think that every single time you're making a project, especially like a long project, like an album or like a video game or like a book or something like that, you should iterate along the way. And that's how it's felt with Infinium. Like I look at some of the earlier things that I started off with, like some of the first dungeons I did, and I'm like, wow, I would do that so much differently now because I've learned so much, and I've like it was almost like spaghetti coated here, and like over here it's like really refined. And I might even go back and use some of that to fix it up. But like you should not be the same developer that you were when you started a project. It doesn't matter if you have 20 years of experience. Every single time you finish a project, you should be a better developer than when you started it. Lol. I exchanged 100 points against one gifted sub on my channel. Oh man. Well, I guess that's, what is that? Is that 100 gifted subs? Was 100 10,000 divided by 100? You just like remove 2 zeros, right? So that'd be like 101 subs. Yeah, I can do that. I'll bust open my checkbook. How much is that? Like $606. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Anyways, that's all I have for that. Let's go into our community highlight of the week. Mo's gonna be excited about this one. It's his home lab server. Mo's just been literally talking about this. I'll exchange 100 as well. Okay, how about you stay in your lane, Kieran? How about you stay in your lane? Anyways, Mo's so excited about this. He's built this. What is a home lab server? I don't even know what the heck this is. I just assumed this was like a NAS, but it looks like it does more than that. You have 1.1 thousand queries. I don't know what that is. Queries blocked. Percentage blocked. Domains on list. Is it like, are you hosting like websites or something? He's been showing, he has 4 disks with 3.44 terabytes. You gotta pump those numbers up. I have 1 disk with 8 terabytes. It's an ad blocker? What does that even, what? It's so much more than a NAS. Why do you need a separate device to block ads? Like, don't you just install like a browser plugin and then the ads just never even make it to you in the first place? It's a network-wide. Oh, a network-wide ad blocker? That's interesting. So if I were to get on my phone, it would block it? That's crazy. If I just connect it to his Wi-Fi. That image is anyway. That's interesting. I didn't even know that was a thing. It's 4 disks with 8 terabytes of storage and 4 terabytes of usable space. I can lose 2 disks and not lose any data. Okay. Flexing a little bit. It's like a giant interceptor. It feels like that, yeah. So like all of your network goes through this, all your network activity. Does that slow it down at all? That would be a question I would have. But yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Oh, it's the poo man. So, Masters On, I did tell people about the text message you sent me, because I literally looked down at my watch and I went like I visibly went like, what? And I was laughing so hard I had to explain it to everyone who was watching. It was when you said you were gonna poop in. You were like, I'm pooping in. And I'm like, huh? Yeah, blocks the HTTP request from known ad sites. Okay, that's cool. But calling him the poo man is so unhinged. 10 to 30%. Wait, it makes him load faster? That's cool. It was an autocorrect disaster. Anyways, let's move on to our final community highlight of the week. Let me expand this a little bit. We have Ghost's Bus Life update. This is so cool. I wish Ghost would have explained more. He just literally dropped these into our Discord and we haven't heard from him since. It's really cool, dude. He has this whole van setup. You didn't show my media server? What do you mean I didn't show your media server? I showed what you put in the chat. Do you have a picture of it or something? Oh. You're talking about all the movies you have? Who the fuck goes, I need Paddington 2? You know what? I'm glad I didn't put that in the presentation. Who puts Paddington 2 as their like that's gotta be in the repository, man. Anyway, get walled. This is so cool. Honestly, this is one of the coolest things because I would love to do something like this. He took a van, and look how cute this is. It says a Roundup Roadshow on the side. It says cool bus. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm so stupid. It originally said school bus, but he took the S and the H off. I didn't even think about that. I thought he just got letters that said cool bus and put them on. That's so creative. The question is whether or not this runs, and that's what I would really like to know. It doesn't look like it does. It looks like it's been sitting for a while. Like you can see like moss growing on it and stuff. But it is very cool. If you look on the inside, he's got like a little bed. He's got a PC set up. He's got a Dr. Pepper over here. I mean, he's got a little fluffy pillow, and he's got a great view. Dude, this is so cool. I'm not even joking when I say this. I've literally thought about doing this. I've actually considered like buying a bus and living in it and just like traveling and like making like just having a computer, because all I need is my computer. All I need is a computer and a bed and like maybe a shower and a toilet if that's possible. like I that's all I need to just survive. Dr. Pepper goated, bruh. Yeah, Dr. Pepper is necessary for sure. But Ghost's thing is like he likes to make music, and as a musician, being able to just like live in a small van, or like even to like travel, if this thing works, that would be so cool to travel as a musician and just do whatever you want. Like that's such a free life, and I'm a little bit jealous of him. Dr. Pepper's ass. Okay, I'm so close to banning you for that. You don't understand. I'm drinking it right now. Yeah, Dr. Pepper is literally my favorite thing. Tastes like shot. Shot. if you could spell correctly, maybe I'll respect your opinion, Karen. Go back to sipping tea, you biscuit. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Stefan. Anyways, so cool. This is so cute, so cozy. Over here you can see his power setup. He's got a freaking solar panel and like a bunch of batteries. Dude, he's set. And he's got a reserve parking sign that he clearly stole from someone. he stole a what is it? A disabled parking sign, I guess. This is so cool. I'm so jealous of him, and I would love to just have like an RV or something. And just like I don't know, it's just so cool. So cool, so jealous. So I would love to hear more about it, but he has not messaged us since then. So hopefully we'll get another update about this. But that's all we have for gaming news. Yeah, I hope everyone enjoys the VOD that sees us on YouTube. And I want to thank everybody who watched this live. It was really fun. All the comments that you guys have are always really silly, and it helps. Honestly, if this show was silent, it was just me talking, and there's never any chat, it would be so much more boring. So you guys really add a little bit of flavor, even if you guys, don't drink Dr. Pepper. So I mean. Fuck YouTube, bye. Bye, YouTube.